Lord no, calling the African Union, talk about my freedom. I calling the four corners of this world to set Biafra free. Lord, for so long now, they've been suffering in jail. They turn us as slaves in our fatherland. Oh gosh, we cannot find a sail as a free mankind. Tell me why. Tell me. Freedom, freedom is what we want now. Freedom, freedom is what we need. Freedom.
Welcome viewers to Biafra Television, London. And this is the truth of the matter. Today in the truth of the matter, we are looking at a very burning issue happening in the contraption called Nigeria as it affects the Biafran Restoration Project. And as a matter of fact, all our discussions here on Truth of the Matter is about what is happening in the contraption called Nigeria as it affects the Biafran Restoration Project. Today, we are looking at the tyrant ruler of Nigeria's attitude towards the honorable judges that have done marvelously well to save the image of the Nigerian judiciary, which some judges like John Soho has worked very hard to tarnish. Today, we are looking at the harassment, attack on honorable judges like Honorable Adeniyi Ademola by the Nigerian DSS. It is pertinent and very disheartening to note that in Nigeria, the rule of law has been thrown to the dustbin. That even judges of the High Court today are being attacked by the lawless Nigerian law enforcement agents called the Nigerian DSS. Now, it is known that when a judge passes a judgment or a ruling in any case, any aggrieved party has the right to appeal against the ruling of any court. But it is very regrettable that the Nigerian DSS, instead of taking their grievance to an appeal court, has decided to have a physical combat or physical attack on a sitting judge, which is against the Nigerian Constitution. An honorable justice of the High Court has immunity. A serving honorable justice of the High Court has immunity, which the Nigerian DSS failed to respect. Now, this issue is not going to be discussed by me alone. The panel of the Truth of the Matter is going to look at this issue today in order to actually tell the world the truth about what is happening. Is it the right thing for the law enforcement agents to barge into the house of an honorable justice of the High Court and arrest him for any reason whatsoever? The Truth of the Matter is going to let the world know. So today, I am not going to discuss this alone. Here in the panel today, from my immediate left, you have...
Yes, I am Adeniyi Ademola. I come from Ishialangwa in Biafra. Stay tuned.
Thank you very much, Amadi Basil. You are welcome to this program today. And from my immediate right, you can see...
Hello, welcome viewers at home. This is myself, Carlo Abu Branwa. I'm from Akano, Ohofia. We are here once again today to discuss on issues affecting Biafra restoration. Stay tuned and keep watching. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Abu Carlo. You are welcome to this program.
Thank you.
And from my extreme right, you have...
Welcome viewers, lovers of freedom. My name is Onyebuchi Osorobi. I am from Isialambano in Biafra land. Stay tuned, watching.
You are very much welcome, Onyebuchi Osorobi. You are welcome to this program. And this is Ikechukwu Morisa, moderating in today's program. Ikechukwu Morisa is from Njaba in Biafra land. Now, to give a background information about the case we are going to look at today, I would like to read a news publication from a Biafran Time publication, which has the title, Buhari orders DSS to steal Nnamdi Kanu's case file from the courtroom, threatens Justice Ademola to jail Nnamdi Kanu in exchange for his freedom. In other words, Buhari is the brain behind the harassment and arrest of Honorable Justice Adeniyi Ademola. So I want you to be patient and listen to the news as published by the Biafran Times of Wednesday, 12th October 2016. Fresh details reports are beginning to emerge as to the reason behind the recent clampdown on officials of the Nigerian judiciary, a very distressing and unfortunate incident which occurred during the odd hours of Friday 7th October and Saturday 8th October 2016 amidst wide condemnation from members of the general public. Further irrefutable evidence has surfaced regarding the smokescreen intimidation of judges who had in one time or the other ruled against the wishes of the government in the name of fighting judicial corruption. Recall that the midnight raid on homes and illegal arrest of judges by operatives of the Department of the State Service, the DSS, including Justice John Inyang Okoro and Sylvester Nguta of the Supreme Court, Justice Nnamdi Dingba and Adeniyi Ademola of the Federal High Court, Abuja, and 3 others. They were arrested over allegations of corrupt practices. Another lie, which unsurprisingly is now a trend and threat of the DSS since Buhari bulldozed his way into power. However, it should be placed on record that the trigger for the unwanton arrest of Justice A.F.A. Ademola and other reputable judges had nothing to do with election results or corrupt practices, but rather it was against the backdrop of Nnamdi Kanu's recent application for contempt of court proceedings against the tyrannical government of Nigeria led by Buhari, which is the presiding judge in the original case that hitherto granted him bail, lies the legal responsibility to hear the appeal in his court. On the part of Justice Nnamdi Dingba of the same Abuja High Court, it should be recalled that on Monday, 8th August this year, the judge had said that his FHC will stop granting application filed by the DSS until all the previous orders of the court are obeyed and executed. He made this statement when the DSS Council GOA Agbadua brought an application for a remand warrant. Dimba had been furious after the court ordered the detention of Air Commodore Omar Mohammed, retired, who was arraigned before him in Kuje prison, pending the hearing of his bail application. But the DSS, in their usual manner, flagrantly disobeyed the order and kept him in his custody. We are going to analyze the news item we are reading here today. So I want you to just pay attention while we go about reading this news so that you will get the gist of the news we want to discuss today, because Here in the truth of the matter, we are going to lay bare everything surrounding the harassment and the intimidation of the honorable judges of the Nigerian High Court by the men of the Nigerian DSS, who takes order directly from the tyrant ruler of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari. The publication goes further to say, Dimba has also cited another instance when he ordered the service to produce some accused persons in court, but noted that the DSS had yet to comply with the directives. Going by this consistent disobedience to court orders, one is justified to ask, is the DSS under Buhari's command above the law of Nigeria? So I wish our viewers will be contemplating on these issues while we go ahead to bring in the rest of the news. This wild goose chase embarked upon by Buhari and his on-chain was also in connection of the DSS refusal to obey court orders for the immediate and unconditional release of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, on 2 previous occasions. Hence, Justice Dimba's arrest and invasion of his house cannot be said to be unconnected with his strict stance for the adherence to the rule of law. In other words, judges that are very strict about the respect to the rule of law in Nigeria are under threat under Buhari's rule. This goes further to say, now we must bear in mind that only on Friday, the 7th of October 2016, Justice Ademola issued 2 rulings in a case brought against the DSS by 2 persons whose fundamental human rights were breached because they were illegally detained by the same DSS, the untouchable bulldozers of Buhari. Justice Ademola awarded the sum of 20 million and 10 million naira respectively to the complainants as compensatory fines against the government for the violation of their rights. The odd-hour timing of his arrest is troubling because DSS knows Ademola is covered by what is termed constitutional immunity, which means that you cannot arrest a sitting judge over his ruling, but rather you appeal against it. Buhari's government, no doubt, has shown once again that Nnamdi Kanu remains a threat to their continued existence in a corrupt artificial British Empire and perennial exploitation of Biafrans and her resources. If Buhari is under the illusion that Nnamdi Kanu was unjustifiably released by Justice Ademola, the proper thing to do would have been for his dogs, the DSS, to appeal his ruling. Reliable information reaching Biafra writers has it that DSS in the afternoon, 11th of October 2016, stormed the office of Mr. Kenneth I. Gudugu, the Registrar of the Court 7 of the Federal High Court Abuja, which incidentally happened to be Ademola's court as well, demanding copies of Ademola's rulings in the case of Nnamdi Kanu and Sambo Dasuki. With all these unwholesome actions being displayed by the Buhari-led government, one is left to wonder and ask pertinent questions such as why the DSS, who have copies of the rulings in their own file, are demanding same file from Mr. Kenneth. Why are they harassing the fearless judge like Ademola, who refused to be intimidated by the DSS? What is the motive behind the clandestine operation of the DSS? Is not far-fetched. They obviously want him to rewrite and reverse under duress his would-be judgment ahead of the appeal for contempt of court proceeding filed by Kanu's lawyer. Buhari's so-called fight against judicial corruption is nothing but a farce. It is lopsided and a ruse geared at fooling the public who has little or no knowledge of the basis for the arrest of an upright judge like Justice Ademola. While on the other hand, we still have John Soho, who happened to be the most corrupt judge in Nigeria, a man who has perverted justice in Kanu's case, lied under oath and broken every law guiding legal profession, shamelessly roaming freely in the iconic black robe. Why didn't the DSS go after such a man? if not because he is the only judge that is known, capable and proven to be a willing tool to every incumbent government right from time immemorial. Judges, like the constitutional functionaries, must face the law if they depart from or deceive the law, such as when they are suspected of engaging in corruption, of which is not the case in Ademola's situation. What the DSS has done is an unguided heavy blow to the independence of the judiciary and a dangerous precedent that would not be allowed to stand by men of honor. The world must rise up, fight and put a stop to another reign of Adolf Hitler by calling a spade what it is. Buhari presents everything ignoble and evil. He is a virus that has encroached every arm of the government and must be given maximum treatment. This is the right time for the Senate to impeach him, having violated every law in the Constitution. Revolution is imminent in Nigeria, and Buhari's ideologies is bound to trigger the collapse of the Lugadian enterprise. This is the publication by the Biafran Times, which we find very, very appropriate to bring to the knowledge of our viewers. We here at the Truth of the Matter in Biafran Television, London, we are going to look at this issue and actually bring the public to complete awareness of what is actually transpiring between the judiciary and the executive arm of the Nigerian government. Keep watching. We are going to go on a short break, and when we come back, we analyze all these issues. Thank you very much.
I've been equally granted to all, without regard to your race nor color. That will be war everywhere.
Welcome back, viewers, to Biafra Television, London. And today, on Truth of the Matter, we are looking at a very, very, very important issue, which, before we went on break, you listened to a news item from Biafra Times, x-raying the abnormal, unlawful activities of the Nigerian DSS by barging into the house of a sitting judge, Honorable Justice of the High Court, and abducting him in the wee of the night. Now, the panel of discussants in the Truth of the Matter today is going to be able to dissect all the information we have from this news publication and let our viewers know actually the reason behind the attack on Ademola Adeniyi, a Federal High Court Honorable Justice. Now, I come to you, Amadi Basil Oba. You listened to the news item I read from the Biafra Times publication here. So, what is your take on the attack on Justice Ademola Adeniyi?
The attack
by the Nigerian DSS.
Yes, moderator. The attack on Adeniyi was very wrong. This happens because that Muhammadu Buhari is the president of Nigeria. Everybody can tell the kind of person Muhammadu Buhari is. He doesn't understand what the law says. Now, Justice Adeniyi just represent what justice is talking about. He made his ruling the unconditional release of Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of indigenous people of Biafra. Justice Adeniyi did that because after he had interpreted the United Nations Charter on the right of indigenous people and the African Union on the right to self-determination and the Nigerian law, he take a look at all these things. He understands that Nnamdi Kanu, the law interpreted that Nnamdi Kanu committed no crime against anybody or even the country called Nigeria. Justice Adeniyi decided to follow the path of justice. He ordered DSS Nigeria to release Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally, which Muhammadu Buhari ordered the DSS not to release Nnamdi Kanu. Now, in order to corrupt Adeniyi, he decided to attack him so that he can make a U-turn. Right now, the public should speak up to stop what Muhammad Buhari is doing. The National Judicial Council should come together and speak up to stop Muhammad Buhari for doing that. Look at Soho. People are saying that Soho is corrupt. As a matter of fact, Soho is really corrupt because the day he's supposed to grant Nnamdi Kanu bail, he refused to do so. He stated that if he grants Nnamdi Kanu bail, that he may commit the same, that he might commit the same offense again. Meanwhile, Nnamdi Kanu was not tried yet. How did Justice Soho know that Nnamdi Kanu committed a crime? Justice Soho was biased. So now, the Nigerian Bar Association, the National Judicial Council of Nigeria should take this serious to handle Justice Soho according to what he did, how he messed up the Nigerian judiciary, because the whole world, even the Nigerians, they don't even have the confidence anymore in Nigerian judiciary. Thank you, Mr. Moderator.
Thank you so very much, Amadi Basil. You really made a good point and very precise and concise. Your point is very clear that Justice Ademola granted Nnamdi Kanu bail by following the course of justice, and as well, the Justice John Soho, who is an epitome of injustice, refused Nnamdi Kanu bail by deciding to condemn him before he went on trial. That is quite absurd. And you have given an assignment to the Nigerian Judicial Council, the National Judicial Council, to do the right thing. Right now, I'm coming to you from my immediate right, Abu Kanu Abu. You also listened to the news item here. This news item spoke about the attack of the Nigerian men of the Nigerian DSS on Justice Ademola. What is your take about that?
Well, Mr. Moderator, I have to thank you for giving me this opportunity to dissect on what I understand based on the article that was read. First and foremost, before I will proceed, I would like to tell our audience that Nigerian legal system is predicated on the concept of common law doctrines. And also, when you come to Nigeria, you have the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Inside this constitution, you have about 320 sections of this constitution. And you also have the 7 schedules of the constitution, 1999 Constitution, to be precise. And inside this constitution, there was no specification. There was nowhere inside these 320 sections where the DSA, the Department of State Security, was mentioned. None. And you will be attempted to ask, where does the DSA derive its powers? Also, in that same constitution, 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, you will see under section 214 to section 216, you will see where the powers of the Nigerian police force is guaranteed. But you will come to discover that the police force were not the ones that are taking this arrest, which is their constitutional duty.
Yes, carrying out the normal functions of a police department.
Yes, that is to tell you that the Department of State Security has usurped the function of the Nigerian police force.
In other words, stepping their bounds.
Yes, which is a constitutional provision. That is to tell you that the DSS has acted outside the law of the land, which is a punishable offense if it is in a democratic environment.
Yes.
Now, coming to the action of the DSS in arresting the Honorable Justice Ademola and others, I want to point out something that is very, very pertinent to this issue. On the 7th of October 2016, Justice Ademola Adeniyi ruled on a litigation that was brought before his honorable court, which is bordered on the fundamental human rights infringement of two citizens of Nigeria. One is Mr. Omar, Commodore Omar, and other person. There were two. Justice Ademola granted them a relief of the court and ruled in their favor by granting a fine that must be paid by the Nigerian government or her representative, which is the DSS, to pay these two people the sum of 30 million naira. So, after these incidents in the court, the next day, the Department of State Security Service went from house to house nocturnally in the night, as if they were the cockroaches coming out in the night to hibernate. So they arrested these people, telling the public, the gullible public, that these people are corrupt. But the truth of the matter is, these judges, these honorable judges that were arrested, are the judges that are the forefront of justice in the Nigerian society. These judges are the judges who have delivered on merit according to the facts of the cases that were brought to them before their court. Now, this is to tell you that in Nigeria as of today, you are a corrupt judge only if you do not agree to do the bidding of the tyrant in power, Muhammadu Buhari. When you fail to adhere to the whims and caprices of these state security services, you are automatically a corrupt judge. That is the situation at hand. If you look at it very well, you will understand that this same Justice, Honorable Justice Ademola Adeniyi, was also a sitting judge at the Federal High Court, where a litigation was brought by Nnamdi Nwokocha challenging the validity of the presidency of Muhammadu Buhari, because from evidence, Muhammadu Buhari did not submit any valid certificate to prove to the world,
to qualify,
to prove that he is qualified to aspire for that position. Do you know that Justice, sometime 2 months ago, Justice Ademola, hearing the case, found out that the states were in contempt. They did not show at the court. Then he adjourned the court to a next session of his sitting in the court. Could you imagine that before that day, Muhammadu Buhari intimidated Nnamdi Nwokocha, who initiated that litigation, by threatening his life, to the extent that Nnamdi Nwokocha decided to go to the court and withdraw the case, citing threats to his life. What is happening in Nigerian judicial system right now is as a result of the fact that those who are at the bench, the Nigerian Bar Association, the Nigerian Judicial Commission, and individual lawyers, they fail to act when there is a threat on the laws of the land. What am I saying? What I am saying is this. On the 17th of December 2015, a federal high court sitting in Abuja granted an unconditional release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. He was granted bail by a customary court in Abuja, and also the Federal High Court by Justice Adeniyi. And these two verdicts were flaunted. They were not, these court orders were not obeyed by the Nigerian DSS. I want the public to understand that this DSS is just an agency of the executive arm of government. You can understand and reason with me if you remember that there was a man called Baron de Montesquieu, a French philosopher who propounded the theory of separation of powers and checks and balances. In this theory, it means that the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary must be separated and checked to avoid tyranny. Now, what I'm saying in effect is this. When these rulings were given, the Nigerian Bar Association, all of them, they did not do anything. They kept silent. They did not write to the ECOWAS Human Rights Commission. They did not follow any evidential movement to show that they are telling the world that the judiciary or the Nigerian law is in danger. They didn't. Everybody was silent until today. Now, the executive is now after the judiciary in order to pocket them just exactly as the executive have pocketed the legislature. This is a straight route to tyranny. Nigeria is under siege by a cabal who do not know what the rule of law is. Nigeria is under siege by a cabal who will stop at nothing but to tie the rule of law and put it inside the dustbin. This is all I have to say for now, Mr. Moderator. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so very much, Abu. You have really, as usual, educated our people. You have really made our people to understand what the rule of law is all about. We are on this platform, the truth of the matter, extraying the reason behind the action of the Nigerian DSS by attacking an honorable sitting justice of the High Court of Nigeria. I'm coming to you now, Osorobi. What is your take, too, on this barbaric action of the Nigerian DSS on a sitting justice of the High Court?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I am humbled to be in this program today. And as I used to say, separation of powers in any democratic setting is paramount. And there's nothing you will do in any democracy without having the powers separated. And the powers have to be independent. But here in the case of Nigeria, it is not so now, but it was so in the time of Goodluck Jonathan. It was so in the time of Obasanjo, because I will give you references on these two former presidents of Nigeria, or elder statesmen, as the case may be. Today, the judiciary is nothing because the judiciary themselves put themselves in that mess? Ask me why. Before somebody will come up to contest for any position in the country, it must pass through law and the rule of law. Isn't it?
Of course it is.
You are right.
Of course.
Now, who are the people responsible for the checking of the laws, if they are right or not? Is it not the judiciary?
Of course, the judiciary are the custodian of the Nigerian constitution and rule of law.
Thank you so much. Now, how come a tyrant came to power without the legitimacy of his documents, and he was sworn in by the same judiciary? Who is fooling who in this case? I want to tell us that there is something we used to say, as a Christian I am, we used to call it the law of karma, or the law of retributive justice. What you have given out is what you must what? Take. We lamented and we shouted on this before Muhammad Buhari was sworn into power, was even allowed to contest into that position. The judiciary, they knew it all. They know that Muhammad Buhari has no credentials, has no qualifications whatsoever to be the leader or the president of that contraption called Nigeria. But they swept every lamentation of the public masses who are voting for their leader under the carpet and persuaded them by denying justice to the poor masses who shouted and said, we needed a qualified president, we needed a qualified leader. But they all saw it and they allowed him to contest by granting him the opportunity without giving him a proper screening. Even though they knew he had no credentials to sit in to contest for that very position, they allowed him. That is one point. That is pulling down the judiciary. I am coming in the other round. When President Obasanjo was in power, he did the first term bid, it was accepted. He did the second term bid, it was accepted. When Obasanjo came to do the third term bid, when he wanted to become the life president of Nigeria, it was the masses and the judiciary who said, no, we are not going to give this chance because it has no room in our constitution. So Obasanjo honorably withdrew from making the third term bid, and that was what gave room to Yar'Adua and Goodluck Jonathan. And they came. And when it was due for Yar'Adua and Goodluck Jonathan to leave the office, because the rule of law is concerned, they have to step out of the office, and they were working according to the rule of law stated in a democratic setting, especially in Nigerian Constitution 1999. Then I asked this question: the judiciary, you are there, you are the watchdog of the Nigerian law, you are the watchdog of Nigerian Constitution, you adjudicate the laws of Nigeria, of all Nigerians. How come the DSS possess such power to even arrest you and adopt you, and you are keeping quiet? Where is it in the Nigerian Constitution? I know Nigerian Constitution, as my colleague has stated earlier, has 320 sections, if I'm not mistaken, and also 7 schedules. Where in the Nigerian Constitution, out of the 320 sections, has the DSS given such power to adopt, to maim, and to disobey the rule of law, the court law and order, where is it found in the Nigerian Constitution? And what have you done from day one they have started doing this adoption and manhandling of people, even to the extent they manhandled a governor whose immunity is paramount, Governor Wike of Rivers State. Where are you, the judiciary, when all these things were taking place? Because you have sold your birthright. You have given your right to the hoodlums, and now they are coming in. I want to ask this question. The judiciary, you are giving orders on those who should be released, and none of them has been released so far. Who gave the order and the ruling to release the Boko Haram leader? Who gave the order to release the terrorists who masterminded the bomb
At Madala.
at Madala? Who gave that ruling? I ask you, the judiciary, are you not aware that it was released? What have you done about it? And now your powers has been given to dogs. Your strength has been given to the cats. You are now crawling like a snail that can be trampled upon whenever the race begins. But time is not gone yet, because there are innocent judges who are facing it squarely right now. On that note, I will advise and I will suggest that you, the judiciary, should make a redress and hold firm with all integrity your powers according to the law, and not to be afraid of anything. I want to tell you, if you keep quiet, the adoption will start as it has started with the common people, and it has increased to you, the watchdog of the law in Nigeria. And tell me what is going to happen in future. None of you will ever be left behind. That's how a tyrant rules. That's how it happened in Turkey. And that's why Turkey is the way it is today. It started with a person, and it's ending up with a country. The entire world is aware of what is happening. So the judiciary, if you allow this to happen again, without taking proper actions, necessary actions required by law, honestly, the reverse will be the case. The common man, whose justice has been denied from the inception of the tyrant Muhammad Buhari, will be no news. You, the watchdog of the law in Nigeria, has taken a pace which the challenges is on you right now, but you have to rise up. Sit up and face it squarely. Every judge who has been adopted, you must walk within your powers to release them, and then put a stop to tyranny, and as well as reducing or removing completely that immunity you have given to the DSS to walk above the law and to be above the law. Because I can understand that all the rulings the Nigerian judiciary has given, all the court orders given to the DSS, none of them has been obeyed. Yet you are moping. That's why they can ride on you. That's why they can take anything off you, and you cannot cough. And if you cough, things that you didn't expect comes your way. Imagine a DSS barging into someone's house, a judge, destroying it, and abducting him. Nobody has ever coughed. Nothing has ever been done. You are just beating about the bush. And tomorrow, more of this will happen. I will remind you the judges. I will remind you the NJC. I will remind you the NBA. You people treat the cases of judges when they go astray, when they go against the law. You give them punishments. I can remember one Justice Mokorie of the High Court in Owerri, when he went against his judicial oath. You gave him punishments. You asked him to drop, and then by law he dropped, and his case is being followed orderly. How come the DSS possess such power? From time Muhammad Buhari took powers, none of the DSS who has gone against the law has been punished. None of them has been brought to book. Rather, you beg them not to do this and not to do that. Then I ask, where is the immunity of the judges that were adopted? And what has the country done about it? You should remember that they didn't start with you first. They started with them at the Senate. They went and also took the Senate president, Saraki, and his deputy, Ekweremadu. And in the Senate, they did it the way they did it, and they are still on the case. Now they have come to you to tell you that they have touched all the places. Last time they went also to the executive. They wanted to take the governor of what do you call it, Ekiti State. But it wasn't very easy for them because the immunity covered him. Even at that, some of you judges, we are giving them way to go and adopt a governor. I overheard one of the judges saying that they should remove the immunity from him and adopt the governor, which has not been done anywhere. I also believe that you judges are the cause of the problem. Because if you sit up and work according to the law and move your functions the way it should, not even the executive, not even the common people will ever do anything contrary or against the rule of law without attracting the maximum punishment. I think on that place I draw the curtain of today, Mr. Moderator, in my contributions, and I may come in a little while when you must have addressed it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much, Osorobi. Osorobi, you made a very wonderful point. In other words, you are also trying to make our viewers to understand that the reason behind the arrest, the brutal arrest of Honorable Justice Ademola is not unconnected with his ruling on Dasuki.
Yes.
You see, so our viewers, you can as well be judges yourself and watch what is happening with the Nigerian government. A situation where a ruling judge, a sitting judge, is being arrested, not even invited, is being arrested, abducted by force by the men of the Nigerian DSS, a duty that is fundamentally assigned to the Nigerian police force. If there is any reason for a judge to be arrested, the Nigerian police force is the only body empowered to do that, and within the ambit of the law. And from everything that the panelists have said, you can see that the reason behind the unwarranted arrest of Ademola is not unconnected with his ruling on the case of Nnamdi Kanu, whom he granted unconditional release And recently, he, Honorable Ademola, ruled also in a case of 2 Nigerians whose fundamental human rights were abused. I am still continuing to wonder why it is difficult for Muhammadu Buhari to come to terms with the rule of law. It is still a bewildering situation that Muhammadu Buhari believes that Nigeria is his enterprise, which he will run anyhow he likes. And like Mr. Sorobi pointed out, the judiciary have a great role to play in this issue. The judiciary was silent when Muhammadu Buhari flouted a court order when Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, was released. They were silent. They never reacted as if a court order was being disobeyed. Now, the tyrant ruler has gone steps further. He has encroached into the immunity of a sitting governor and has even gone as far as releasing a condemned criminal, a condemned terrorist, a terrorist that was sentenced to life imprisonment, that has not spent up to 2 years in jail. Muhammadu Buhari has gone as far as releasing him. But people that a law court has released in accordance with the Nigerian Constitution, people like Dasuki, people like Nnamdi Kanu, people like other Biafran freedom fighters or activists, Muhammadu Buhari decided to continue to hold them hostage. I remember that the ECOWAS court also granted Dasuki a release and also, awarded a cost to that effect. And this is the reason behind Ademola's incarceration. And like my panelists have just said, the Nigerian judiciary has a very vital role to play. Now, from what we have in this article, which I read earlier, our viewers can also see that if Muhammadu Buhari is not checked now, the country will go into a revolution that will not be contained by any powers that is in Nigeria. Right now, we are gradually inching close to the end of this discussion today, and I believe that our viewers are getting the feel of the reason behind the unwarranted arrest of a sitting justice of the Federal High Court, Justice Adeniyi Ademola. So, I'm coming to you now, Agu Kalu, for your finishing last comments on this very vital issue.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Moderator, once again for giving me such a glorious opportunity to make my point. Well, I want to remind our viewers that there is a legal maxim that says, "Ipso custodiet, ipso custodiet," which is to say that who watches the watchdog. This is a doctrine that warranted the constitutional immunity of a sitting judge. The concept of who watches the watchdog means, since the judges are the custodians of the law, if the DSS went to his house and they kidnapped him or kidnapped them, who is watching the DSS? And as I have said in my earlier comment, that the DSS do not derive any power from any constitution. Rather, the DSS, like my colleague had said before, is like the watchman to the president of the day. That has been said I want to tell our viewers that if the DSS and Muhammadu Buhari has subjected the Nigerian law to ridicule, what is then left for the common man on the streets? That is to tell you that there is a state of lawlessness and anarchy in the society called Nigeria. So what we are saying is that when you fail to act at the appropriate time, you will live to regret it, which is what is happening to the Nigerian judiciary now. Because they fail to speak up when there are infringements of fundamental laws of the land. Muhammadu Buhari, the president of Nigeria, he perjured on the 30th of December 2015 during a media live chat, whereby he said that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did not enter Nigeria with a passport. But at the end, according to the registration, or according to according to what is obtainable in his file at the court, it is clear that he has 2 passports, which the DSS are holding up until today. So for Muhammadu Buhari to come to the public and tell the world that this man didn't come to Nigeria with a passport, that is to say that the president himself, he lied in public. And when you lie as a sitting president who is under the constitutional oath, that is what is called a perjury. And when this man, this tyrant president, committed this heinous crime of perjury, the judiciary did not talk. Even as individual lawyers, nobody spoke. And today, what haunted Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is now haunting the judiciary, one after the other. Do you remember that one of the judges that was arrested, or that was kidnapped, because I don't classify what they are doing as arrest, it is kidnapping. One of the judges that was kidnapped, Justice Dimba, he berated the DSS for not obeying the orders of the court, where he himself was the presiding judge. He berated the DSS and cautioned them because of the rascality that they have been inhibiting at the cost of performing their unconstitutional duties. So what am I saying? What I'm saying is this: what is happening to the judiciary today is as a result of their inability to stand up for justice. So when you decided not to stand up for justice, one day it will be your turn. Thank you, Mr. Moderator.
Thank you so very much, Abu, because this issue of Dimba is very, really pertinent in this matter. Because Dimba, as a matter of fact, gave an order to the DSS that they should never come to his court again to seek for any injunction to act on any citizen of Nigeria until they start obeying court orders. How else do you want a judge to maintain the rule of law? When a judge issued a court order and the DSS will disobey the court order, and then same DSS will come to the same court and seek a power to go and arrest somebody when they have not obeyed the court ruling previously. So that is to tell you that Nigeria is completely a lawless state under Muhammadu Buhari, and the international community are watching.
Also, sorry, Mr. Moderator, I want the general public to understand that Muhammadu Buhari is trying to exhibit his tyrannical and nepotistic tendencies by removing all the judges that are not Fulani extraction, that are not of Fulani extraction. This is to tell you the direction in which the Nigerian society is drifting to. Because what he wants to do is to make sure that our leader Nnamdi Kanu is never released. That is the reason why he wants to block everywhere that we could get justice. He wants to implant his kinsmen at the strategic judicial positions so as to make a way for a total Islamization of Nigeria. That is the point. The point is that Muhammadu Buhari has a hidden agenda of Islamization. And how is he going to realize that? He will first of all block every loophole that he will have challenges. That is the reason why so many of the judges are involved, because he wants to remove them, use an alibi as a corruption to level against them, and thereby disqualify them from attaining the position which is due to them after so many years of legal services to the contraption Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Abu, because the points are really inexhaustible. The reason behind the action of the DSS on the Nigerian judiciary, actually, it is not far from the agenda which Muhammadu Buhari already swore to carry out in Nigeria, total Islamization. And you remember there was this Abuja Declaration of 1989, please, whereby the decision of that declaration was that there is going to be a total overhaul of the Nigerian political system, whereby only Muslim Fulani men will be put at strategic positions. Now, all the service chiefs in Nigeria are Hausa Fulani North. All. Now, the judiciary is now under siege by Muhammadu Buhari. The plan now is to remove all the southern judges and disqualify them by allegations of corruption, and institute Hausa Fulani Muslim judges so that the Islamization will be complete. Now in the National House of Assembly, they are already there controlling the whole affairs. So it is only the judiciary that is remaining now, and Nigeria will be completely Islamized. So it is better for our viewers to be very, 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 very intelligent and know what is happening. I come to you now, Osorobi, for your last points on this bastardization of the Nigerian judiciary by the ruling Muhammadu Buhari, the tarantula of Nigeria.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I don't need to take it length. We have to be vigilant. Let the judiciary be vigilant. Let them work, as I've said earlier, according to the powers vested on them as the watchdog of the rules of and laws of the nation, of the country,
as the custodians
of the constitution, of the law in that very country. Else, mark my words, else Nigeria in the next 3 years will be like Turkey, and none of you will be exonerated from every problems it's going to cause, from every attack it's going to bring, and in all ramification, every citizen of the Nigeria extraction, so-called, because Nigeria has expired. Those who believe in one Nigeria, up to you. But to the Nigerians, and not to Biafrans, you know, you will face it squarely. And when you lament, people will be behind, laughing at you, just the same way the people of Turkey today have no say, because Islam has come to stay. And Islamization agenda, which is secret agenda of Muhammad Buhari, is unveiling in strategic points. And I want you to listen and listen good. Don't take it for granted. Work on the rule of law. Make sure the rule of law prevails in that country. Else, your immunity, all the judges, your immunity will be removed from you, especially the southern judges. And when that happens, welcome to Islamic contraption called Nigeria. And no two ways about it. Thank you, Mr. Moderator.
Thank you very much, Osorobi. Thank you so very much. And the judges have a duty to do. They have a job to do. The time has come for them to stand up to sanitize Nigeria, because the whirlwind that is coming, the whirlwind that is gathering momentum, will sweep all of them off that position. Now, I come to you, Amadi Baseloba. You saw everything that is happening. What is your last point regarding the bastardization that is taking place now in the Nigerian judiciary?
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. You know, let me follow what happened to Honorable Justice Adeniyi Ademola, you know. So this man is a man who follows the path of justice, who is trying to protect the law of the land. A man who loves justice, who likes to be honorable. And as it is now, he is following he is facing the attack of Muhammadu Buhari, the president of Nigeria. Now, I believe that the Oduduwas in Nigeria, if they believe in the law of the land, if they believe in the cause of justice, if they believe in truth, if they believe in everything that you can call or you can explain or define as a good thing, this is time to protest. This is time to protest. You have to protest. You have to shut down Lagos to prove to the Nigerian government that those who are innocent should not be kept in the custody of Nigeria. How much more a judge, somebody like Honorable Justice Adeniyi? His hands are clean. His hands are clean. Now, in this case, Nnamdi Kanu was released unconditionally by Adeniyi. Dasuki dissenting. All these things did not go well with Muhammadu Buhari. They did not serve his bidding. Therefore, the only thing he can do is to attack Justice Adeniyi. By attacking Justice Adeniyi, he is also attacking the judiciary. By attacking the judiciary, he is also attacking the law. By attacking the law, he is also attacking all the people who have good conscience, all the people who believe in good things, all the people who believe in law, all the people who believe in justice. Now, to protest, the people of Oduduwa, you have to protest for the freedom of Adeniyi. And the Nigerian Bar Association, you have to protest for the freedom of those honorable judges Muhammadu Buhari is holding in custody. Thank you, Moderator.
Thank you very much, Amadi Basil. You really made it so precise, and that's exactly what the judiciary has to do now. And of course, the people of Oduduwa must know that now it is no longer the Biafrans. It has come to them, because there's no reason for the arrest of Ademola. It's not just him alone. We have John Inyang. He's also arrested. We have Sylvester Agota of the Supreme Court. He's also, and Nnamdi Dingba was also arrested. So, how many people is safe from Buhari's tyranny? How many judges will be safe from Buhari's tyranny? I learned that the Chief Justice of the Federation was at the Aso Rock to talk to the tyrant ruler of Nigeria, but that is not enough. Nigerian Bar Association has to stand up. The other arms of the legal profession have to stand up for this, because if this is allowed to continue, then the judiciary in Nigeria will be a write-off. At this point, our viewers, we are going to draw the curtain in today's discussion on the bastardization of the Nigerian judiciary by Muhammadu Buhari. Thank you very much, our viewers, for being with us in today's program. I believe that in one way or the other, we have been able to make it clear to you all that the action of the Nigerian DSS under the authority and the supervision of the tyrant ruler of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, is something that should not be left, should not be swept under the carpet. The judges of the Federal High Court, the judges of the High Court of Nigeria, and other leaders of the judicial system should stand up now and fight for their position, of which if they fail, that will signal the end of the Nigerian judiciary. Thank you very much, Amade Basil, for coming in today's program. It is wonderful having you in this program. Thank you so very much. Abu Kalo Abu, it's really a pleasure having you in today's program.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
And also Robi,
Thank you
you are very much welcome in today's program.
Thank you.
All of you are very wonderful. And this is Ikechukwu Morisa, here returning you to our central studios in London.
Mr. Pro, I'm doing it.
Mock on the beat.
Listen, I can see my people, by your side. I can see my people in rivers. I also see my people in Delta, Cross River and Akwa Ibom, even in Edo State. I can see my people in Enugu.